In a small wooden home in Meiji-era Tokyo, a woman named Hani Motoko picks up a broom every morning. She is the first female journalist in Japanese history. She is also, by her own account, the second best floor cleaner in her household, second only to her 7-year-old daughter. In her 1903 newspaper column, she wrote one line that still defines Japanese parenting today. "The room you keep is the mind you keep." 120 years later, in a Kanazawa apartment, a 6-year-old girl picks up a different broom. Same wood, same handle, same daily ritual. The bedroom belongs to her now. So does the corner of the kitchen she will sweep before dinner. So does her own school desk, which she will wipe down with a folded white cloth tomorrow afternoon. I'm Emma. Welcome back to Nibble Theory. If anything in today's video resonates, I've gathered every framework from this channel, including the one we're about to explore, in my book, Unplug Your Child. Link in the description, but stay with me first. Now, think of a Saturday morning in suburban Ohio. A mother stands in the doorway of her 7-year-old son's bedroom. She has asked him 3 times to clean it. There is a chore wheel in the kitchen. There is a sticker chart on the fridge. There is, somewhere in a drawer, a parenting book titled Get Your Kids to Clean Without Yelling. None of these things have worked. The room has snack wrappers under the bed, last week's homework on the floor, and a layer of Lego bricks she now refers to as the carpet. Her son is downstairs playing video games. She is, alone, holding a broom in one hand and a vacuum hose in the other, having a small philosophical moment about American childhood. Here is the thing. The chore wheel has never worked. The sticker chart works for about 4 days. The book did not fix it. This is not a personal parenting failure. It is the entire architecture of American childhood. We have built a domestic system where adults clean and children consume, and then we are surprised when our children grow up unable to keep their own rooms. Japan did not solve this problem with a wheel. Japan solved it by removing the wheel entirely. Stay with me for a second. I know what just landed. If you've spent any Saturday in that doorway, with that broom, looking at that Lego carpet, I see you. This is not a lecture. There's no judgment in this kitchen. What I'm about to share isn't a hack, it's a reframe. There's a word in Japanese for what's missing from your house. The word is Sōji. 2 characters. The first means to sweep, the second means to remove. Together, the act of clearing. But the meaning runs deeper than chore. Sōji is not the cleaning. Sōji is the practice of owning a corner of physical reality. The corner doesn't have to be big, it just has to be yours. Hani Motoko, in her 1903 column for Fuji no Tomo, the Japanese women's home life magazine she founded, wrote that Japanese parenting begins with the question, which room does the child belong to? Not which room belongs to the child. The other way. The child is the keeper of the room is the mind. The room you keep, she wrote, is the mind you keep. In every Japanese household I've studied, every child has a Tōban. Tōban translating roughly to duty rotation, on-call task, the job that is mine this week. The Tōban is not a chore on a wheel. The Tōban is a corner of household reality that belongs to that specific child for a specific period of time. By age 4, the child has one Tōban, usually their own pajamas or the family's shoe arrangement at the genkan. By 6, the Tōban has expanded. The child's own bedroom, the corner of the dining table they sit at, the dishes they personally used. By 10, the Tōban includes household shared territory, the rice cooker, the recycling, the morning sweep of the genkan for the whole family. The key difference between the Tōban and the Western chore wheel, the Tōban does not rotate weekly. The Tōban rotates seasonally, sometimes annually. The child has the same job for months, long enough to get good at it, long enough to feel ownership, long enough that when the parent walks past and the floor is swept, the child says, "That was me." The room she keeps becomes, slowly, the mind she keeps. The second ritual is so embedded in Japanese childhood that it doesn't even feel like a ritual. It's called Otetsudai, literally, the helping, specifically the helping of the parent in the work of the home. Every Japanese child does Otetsudai daily from the age of 3. The first task is small and ceremonial. Wipe your own bowl after dinner. By age 4, fold your own pajamas before bed. By age 6, sweep your own bedroom each morning before school. By age 8, take out the household trash on Tuesdays. By 10, wash the family rice for dinner. The progression is deliberate. Each new task arrives when the previous task is fully owned. What's striking is what's missing. There is no allowance tied to Otetsudai. There is no sticker chart. There is no negotiation about whether the bowl gets wiped tonight. Otetsudai is what Hani Motoko called the second teacher, the daily ritual that teaches the child their own competence by handing them a specific corner of household reality and saying, "This part is yours. Not yours to play with, yours to keep." Every Japanese school day ends with the same ritual. The children push their desks to the perimeter of the classroom. They form a circle on the floor. The teacher sits among them, not above them. A student leader speaks first. "Today, what did we do well? Today, what could we do better tomorrow?" The ritual has a name, Hansei, the character for reflect against oneself. It is the inverse of the Western parenting move where we praise the child to build their self-esteem. Hansei is not praise. Hansei is the practice of looking honestly at your own day, not to feel bad, but to do tomorrow slightly better. The same ritual happens at home. After dinner, after the dishes are wiped and the floor is swept, the Japanese family sits for 1 minute. Each person names one thing that went well. Each person names one thing they will do differently tomorrow. The 4-year-old participates, so does the grandmother, so does the father. The point is not improvement. The point is the act of looking honestly. Hani Motoko called this the second cleaning. The room is clean, now the mind cleans itself. You may have seen the clips, Japanese children mopping their own school floors, sweeping their own classrooms, wiping their own desks. The videos go viral every few months on TikTok and Reddit, usually framed as a Japanese school program, a curriculum item, a national policy. It is none of those things. The school, Sōji, is not where Japanese cleaning culture begins. It is where the home practice arrives in public. The 6-year-old who has been folding her own pajamas, sweeping her own bedroom, and wiping her own dinner table since age 4 does not find a broom in a classroom unfamiliar. She finds it expected. The classroom belongs to 25 children because each child has already, for years, belonged to a room of their own. This is the key insight Western viewers usually miss. You cannot bolt Sōji onto a school after the fact. You cannot install the village without the home. The Japanese school works at scale because the Japanese household worked at scale first. The room each child keeps becomes 25 at a time, the classroom they all keep. Why does this work? 3 converging lines of research, and the answer is not Japanese culture. The answer is human neurology. First, executive function. Developmental neuroscientists at the University of California at San Francisco have shown that the prefrontal cortex develops fastest under conditions of repeated, low-stakes, self-directed task completion. The child who sweeps the same bedroom floor every morning is by accident running the textbook protocol for executive function development. Planning, sequencing, impulse control, self-monitoring, all the same circuits the child will later need for homework, friendship, work, life. Second, prosocial behavior and ownership psychology. Research at Stanford and Harvard converges on the same finding. Children who clean a shared space, whether a bedroom, a household, or a classroom, develop a measurable sense of communal ownership and reciprocity. They are not less competitive, they are more cooperative. The brain learns, my actions affect a room I share with others, therefore my actions affect others. Third, and this is the one most Western parenting books miss, the psychology of competence. The Japanese Sōji ritual hands the child something most modern Western institutions never hand a child: real, daily, embodied authority over their own physical world. The child does not feel competent because we tell them they are. The child feels competent because they are. They keep a room, they keep themselves. You cannot teach this with a lecture, you can only teach it with a broom. You don't run a Japanese household, you don't have a Tōban chart, a Hansei circle, or a 6-year-old who has been folding her own pajamas since she was 3. But you can do this, even if your child has never held a broom. Here is the framework. Before, pick one shared room, the kitchen, the living room, the entryway. Choose one specific job that fits your child's age. For a 4-year-old, folding their own laundry. For a 6-year-old, sweeping the kitchen. For an 8-year-old, taking out the trash. Write the job down. Tape it to the fridge. The job is theirs for the next 3 months. On Sunday at 4 p.m., you all clean for 15 minutes. Not the parent cleaning while the child watches. Not the parent supervising the child. The parent doing their own job in the same room while the child does theirs. Parallel work. Same room, different bodies. After, sit together for 1 minute. Each person names one thing that went well. Each person names one thing they will do differently next time. That is Hansei. That is the second cleaning. Then you stop. You drink tea. You repeat next Sunday. If you remember nothing else from today, remember 3 things. 1. Sōji is not a chore. It is the practice of owning a corner of physical reality. The corner doesn't have to be big. It has to be yours. The room she keeps becomes the mind she keeps. 2. Otetsudai begins at 3, not with a chart, not with a reward, not with a wheel, with one specific job that fits the child's age and stays the child's for months at a time, long enough to get good at it, long enough to feel ownership, long enough that the child says, "That was me." 3. End the cleaning with Hansei. 1 minute, 1 circle, 1 honest sentence each. Today, what went well? Today, what could we do better tomorrow? The point is not improvement. The point is the practice of looking honestly. The room is clean, now the mind cleans itself. These are not 3 parenting techniques. They are 3 corners of the same practice. Hani Motoko taught her 7-year-old daughter all 3 before she was old enough to read. The daughter, by her own account, became a better floor cleaner than her mother. If Sōji reframed something for you, if you found yourself wondering tonight what a broom in your child's hand might do, there is more in the book. Unplug Your Child. Every framework we've explored together on this channel, how to feed without bribing, how to sleep without training, how to save without rivalry, how to let go without fear, and now how to give without instructing, is gathered there. The brain science, the kanji, the before, during, after scripts you can use tonight. It is the most generous version of everything Nibble Theory believes. Linked in the description, and if it is not for you, that is okay too. Stay subscribed. The next video is being painted, 1 frame at a time. It's still 6:42 in the morning in Kanazawa. The girl with the small broom has finished her bedroom. She is now carrying the broom out to the genkin, where she will sweep the entryway before breakfast. In a few hours, she will arrive at school. She will find another broom waiting for her. The broom in the school will not feel different from the broom in her bedroom, and that is the entire point. And somewhere, in a quiet sepia-toned home in 1903 Tokyo, Hani Motoko picks up her own broom for the morning sweep. "The room you keep," she wrote then, "is the mind you keep." 120 years later, a 6-year-old sweeps a bedroom in Kanazawa, then a hallway in Kanazawa, then a classroom in Kanazawa, and somewhere the lesson is still being taught. I want to leave you with the image we started with. A small hand, a wooden broom, a room that belongs to its keeper. Quietly, patiently, 1 why at a time. I'm Emma. Thank you for staying with me. I'll see you on the next one.